Okay, let's look at another way we can do division with polynomials. We don't always have to do long division. There are some certain circumstances where we can use this other technique called synthetic division. Synthetic division doesn't always work, and then the regular polynomial long division does always work. But when you can use synthetic division, a lot of people like it. You don't have to write as much down. And once you get down how to do the setup, maybe it's a little bit faster. So a lot of people tend to like it. So let's go back to our first problem we did, but we're going to do this one with synthetic division instead. So the situation where you can use synthetic division, again, it's very specific, so we're very restricted on when we can do synthetic division easily or when it's worth it to do it anyway. So the things we have to have, okay, to do synthetic division, our divisor, the thing we're dividing by, has to be degree 1. Okay. So that means that we have to have x to the first power, has to be the biggest power of x we have in our divisor. And then the other thing we have to have that makes it worth doing is that our leading coefficient also has to be 1. Okay, so that's pretty restrictive. Okay, but if you have x plus any number or x minus any number, that's what you're dividing by, then you can do synthetic division. Okay, so let me get this stuff out of our way and then let's talk about how to set this problem up. Okay, so when we're doing synthetic division, the setup is much different. Okay, the setup is really the tricky part here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at what we're dividing by, this x minus 4 term. And in particular, the part we want to focus on is this minus 4 term. Okay? So whatever is minus or plus after the x, we're going to take the opposite of that. So since this is minus 4, okay, we're going to take the opposite. So when we set this problem up, we're going to use positive 4. We're going to put positive 4 out there. And then there are a few different notations you can use for synthetic division. I think the most common one is to kind of do like an upside down house. Okay. And then the thing that's going to go in our house this time, all we care about are these coefficients on the polynomial we're dividing. Okay, so all we care about are the numbers. We're not going to worry about the x's. Okay. But here, remember on this one, we've got every power of x represented, right? If we look at the exponents on the x's, they go 2, 1, 0, and we're not missing any. Okay, so just like with long division, if you are missing any, you have to put in a placeholder 0 coefficient. Okay, on this one, we're not missing any powers of x. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write down these coefficients. So our first coefficient is 6, and then negative 26, and then negative 12. Okay. Now we're ready to do synthetic division. Okay, so this feels a little bit like magic if you're not used to it, but we're really still doing everything we do with long division. We're just not writing as much down. So the very first step we're going to take, always, is we're going to bring the first coefficient down. Okay. So we're bringing 6 down. Then what we do is we take the number down at the bottom and we multiply it by the number out front. So 6 times 4 gives us 24. And whenever we have two numbers here, we just combine them. Okay, you can think about adding if you want to. So negative 26 plus 24 gives us negative 2. Now we're going to take negative 2 and multiply it by 4. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. When we add, we have negative 12 minus 8 is negative 20. Okay, and this last column here, a lot of times people will put another little box there because this number we end up here on the end with is our remainder if we have one. It could be 0 and it divides in evenly, but if we have a remainder, that's going to be that last column there. Okay. So we're done with the division. The last task we have ahead of us is to figure out how to write down our answer. Okay, because our answer is not going to be just some numbers, it's going to be a polynomial. Okay, we want to end up with the same answer we got doing this with long division. Okay, so what we do is we take a look back at the degree of the polynomial we were dividing. So look back at that leading term. So we had x squared was our degree there, was our biggest power of x. So these numbers we have down at the bottom here are going to be the coefficients of our new polynomial. But our degree is going to be 1 less than we started with. Okay, so we started with a degree 2 polynomial. So now these coefficients, this 6, is going to go with x, or x to the first power. And then minus 2, that goes with the constant term, or the term with x to the 0th. And then this last term in our box is our remainder. We know what to do with it. The same thing, it's going to be plus negative 20 over our divisor, the one we're dividing by, which was x minus 4. So this is over x minus 4.